The College Planning Edge. Multiply your odds of getting into your dream college and get your hands on thousands of dollars of fat, juicy scholarships. Brought to you by Lockwood College Prep, helping college-bound families get the edge in college admissions, financial aid, scholarships, and test prep.
Alrighty, welcome to the College Planning Edge. This is your host, Andy Lockwood from Lockwood College Prep, and this podcast is all about helping parents and kids get into their dream colleges and pay staggering, not huge, discounts off the sticker price through financial aid and scholarships and negotiating, and even if they think they can't possibly qualify. So before I get into today's topic, which is negotiating, how to negotiate with the college, I want to tell you that every Friday we offer free coaching, no strings attached. It's your burning questions answered. 8:30 on our Facebook page every Friday, College Coffee Talk. It's facebook.com/Lockwood College Prep. And all you need to do is show up ahead of time or drop your question in there in the comments, and I will answer them. Pearl and I also host a weekly show on Tuesdays called College Talk Tuesday. It's a little bit less interactive. It's more about news and updates. And you can find us all over the interwebs, including the Facebook. All right, so let's talk about negotiating. I'm recording this episode in the beginning of December when offers have started to filter in from colleges, and that's going to continue through January, February, and March, maybe even a little bit later. And frequently, parents are not exactly psyched at what was offered or what was not offered by way of scholarships and financial aid. But what a lot of parents don't understand, they just never think about it, is that these are not written in stone. These are just what I said. These are offers. They're not take it or leave it. So it pays to attempt to improve those offers. And in the 17 years that I've been in this field, in the college planning field, helping parents with college-bound kids, I've never seen an example of a person losing money after an appeal. That is until last year when I did hear about it. And I'll tell you a quick story, and then I'll tell you about how I prefer to go about negotiating. So the story was I got a call back when I was doing a lot of free consultations, and I got a call from someone who had gone through the whole process with another advisor in a different state, and they had been advised to do something that I understood the spirit of what the advice was, but they violated the letter of the law or the regulations pertaining to the FAFSA, the main financial aid form, and the CSS profile. So, in short, they didn't disclose a certain asset. It was a bunch of CDs. Okay. And that's not the advice I would have given, but I'm not saying they were doing something sleazy. I'm just saying that I understand where they were coming from, but that's not how I would have handled it personally. So then what happened next was the daughter got into a top school, Boston College, and they got a nice financial aid award, about $12,000 a year. Then they went back to try to, on the advice of the other financial aid person, the person who did their forms for them, they went back and said, you know what, is there any way that you could reassess this and possibly give us a little bit more? And Boston College said, okay, let's take another look at your file. Hey, wait a minute. Look at this interest that is on line 7 of your tax return or 8 of your tax return. Where did that come from? Looks like interest payments or dividends or something. We don't see anything in your financial aid forms that supports that. And that was the smoking gun that ultimately my client, who wasn't my client at the time, she could not answer. She said, I was advised to not put those CDs on my financial aid paperwork. And Boston College said, well, we're going to take away that $12,000 a year award from you. So that's the only time I ever heard about losing money when appealing. And I guess my caveat is if he did something that's not quite above board, don't appeal. I'm not judging. We don't recommend strategies like that because they can come back to bite you. She's lucky that that's all that happened. She's lucky that the kid wasn't retroactively pulled out of Boston College. So that's the only caveat. Okay, so let's talk about how to appeal. I'm going to give you a quick overview, and then I'm going to give you some resources for this, because I actually teach a class on this I want to tell you about. So the gist of it is that when you are trying to get more money from a college, you should not be adversarial. You want to be on the same side of the table. You want to respect the financial aid officer, and you also want to just be friendly, as opposed to, holy, you know what? Where do you think I'm going to get the money? What orifice am I going to pull this out of? Are you guys nuts? How can you justify charging me so much? Those are actual quotes from clients over the years. I don't recommend that. You don't get too far. Okay. So start off, and most appeals should be written. They should not be phone calls, because sooner or later, either a college will want the appeal reduced to writing, or they will ask you to fill out a form, which is also in writing, something like that. So you want to start off by saying, thank you very much for your very generous offer. Okay? Not aggressive or overbearing, but thank you. My daughter or my son is thrilled to have been accepted to his first choice college, which has been his first choice school since he became serious about the college process, or words to that effect. Please note, you can't say that to 5 colleges. Do this in good faith. Please. Please. For the love of God, please. Okay. However, I'm very concerned about my ability to be able to send him to his dream college because of financial reasons. It just so happens that we received offers from other colleges attached, which are, so you can't bluff, you've got to attach this, which we are being forced to consider solely for financial reasons, not for any other reason at all. If there's any way, if there's any possible way that you could reassess and either meet or maybe even exceed these other offers, we would be thrilled, and Johnny Boy would be 100% committed to attending, and we'll rush in our housing deposit right away, and we'll hit your bookstore and buy $1,000 worth of hoodies or words to that effect. Okay, so there's a lot more to it, but that's the gist of it. There's a couple of conditions under which you can mount an appeal. And one of them is telling them about new information that bears on your ability to pay. Actually, that's really the 2 subsets of that. So what I mean by that is, in the financial aid process, you're giving them information from a snapshot in time. And income-wise, that was 2 years ago, because there's a 2-year look back for income. They call it prior. Very frequently, since 2 years prior, things changed for people who are applying for financial aid. They get laid off, or their business goes south, or something along those lines. So that is a basis for an appeal. I know things looked one way on paper for our income, but the reality is something else. Okay, the other subcategory has to do with expenses. Also very common, there are expenses that don't get disclosed on the financial aid forms, because in fact, hardly any expenses go on the financial aid forms. But you might have had something extraordinary. So let's say that you were getting divorced and your lawyers made a ton of money because you paid them. That drained your resources to pay for college. Or let's say, knock on wood, you had some medical expenses that had to do with unreimbursed insurance payments, or payments that insurance wouldn't cover, that type of thing. Those are perfect examples of appealable or information that bears on your ability to pay for college. That should be part of an appeal. Here's an example of something that does not help you. Hey, I live in a very expensive area. My property taxes are very high because I live in New York or Washington, D.C. or Boston or something. Yeah, you know what? They know. They see that's not new information. They see your zip code, and the financial aid office's attitude is really more about along the lines of, that's your choice to live there. No one's forcing you to live there. So even if you may feel stuck, they don't feel the same way, because they're looking at people who make far less than you and live in other areas of the country that aren't so crazy in terms of the property taxes and the intensity in general. So those are just a few tips on negotiating and appealing. I hope you found them helpful. A couple of things. One, on our website, Lockwood College Prep, you should see a link to a class that, depending on when you're listening, either it's coming up live or it's available via recording. And that link is lockwoodcollegeprep.com. That is a paid class. You have to pay a small tuition for it, but the actual advice and resources that you will get from that class can really more than pay for the cost of tuition many times over, because it's only a couple $100, but you could end up saving thousands of dollars. Literally, I've seen it before. So it's a class where I walk through all the possible arguments, all the scenarios. Let's say you are divorced, or you're divorcing, or you own a business, or you had like someone move in, or you made a mistake on your financial aid forms. I go through every common scenario, and I also provide examples of actual letters that we have used to be able to obtain. Last year we got a kid an extra $51,000 from his top choice school. That's a 1-year, not a 4-year award. In the past, we've had people get an extra $10,000, an extra $23,000, an extra $17,000. You name it. I provide a lot of examples, a lot of before and afters, so you can see that I'm not full of on there. So just go to lockwoodcollegeprep.com. And also, one more plug: if you want some free coaching, it doesn't necessarily have to be about the appeal situation. It could be about any part of college planning. It could be getting in, finding a list of schools, how to even do the forms, or any type of burning question that you're not getting answers to. That is available. I have an answer for you over on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LockwoodCollegePrep. Every Friday, we do College Coffee Talk, and that is a chance for you to grab a cup of coffee and sit down with me virtually, and I will be there for an hour every Friday, 8:30 to 9:30, answering questions, your college coaching questions. I will coach you for free. Okay. Whew. That was a lot. I'm gonna wrap up now. Thanks a lot for listening, and if you like the show, please feel free to leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you're listening to this. The review juice really helps us expand our reach and get this message out to more families who could use this info, and they're not getting it anywhere else. All right, Andy Lockwood, Lockwood College Prep, signing off. Thanks for listening to the College Planning Edge. Hi, this is Andy Lockwood. Don't forget to visit our website, lockwoodcollegeprep.com, for some more free, valuable information on how you can multiply your chances of admission to your dream colleges and qualify for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars of fat, juicy scholarships along the way. Visit lockwoodcollegeprep.com for information on our free upcoming workshops and webinars, and to download a copy of our #1 best-selling book, How to Pay Wholesale for College. That's lockwoodcollegeprep.com. Bye-bye.